University. He was the Falcons' first-round draft pick in 1971, the 7th overall pick. Unfortunately, he blew out his knee in the middle of his rookie year, so he was here through 73, then traded to the Saints. Then he played with Birmingham in the old World Football League. I know some of you remember that one. And he scored the first touchdown in the first World Bowl. Also leading rusher in that. He used his football earnings to buy his first restaurant, an IHOP, then McDonald's franchise. Then he owned several Burger King restaurants. At one time, he owned the #1 and #2 Burger Kings in sales in the country. Several other businesses that he's been in and out of over the years, and he moved into information technology. He served on the Federal Communications Commission, the White House Small Business Advisory Committee, U.S. Department of Transportation Advisory Board, the GOP Business Advisory Board, the National Alliance of Business Task Force, chairman of the National Association of Minority Telecom Executives and Companies, and many other political and philanthropic organizations. He was appointed to the International Trade Commission for Policy by President Reagan and reappointed by the first President Bush. He was inducted into the Business and Professional Hall of Fame in 1994, inducted into the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame in 1999. Among many of his other awards are the America's Best and Brightest Businessman Award, the National Minority Supplier Development Council Award, the Nevada Chamber of Commerce Businessman of the Year, the Granville T. Woods Award for Outstanding CEO, the Ernst & Young 1988 Entrepreneur of the Year, and he's a lifetime member of the Institute of American Entrepreneurs.
Who in the world could be that?
And Joe is here with us this evening with his lovely wife, Wanda. He has 4 children. He's got Joe Jr., Joshua, Kara, and Jessica from a previous marriage, and he and Wanda are here with us this evening. So without further ado, I give you Joe Prophet.
I'll tell you how it all happened. I think I was a freshman at the university. I read about this guy from Austin, and he was a great football player in college, and there was a team formed here in Georgia, and he was their #1 draft choice, first pick. And I sort of wanted to come to Atlanta. My heart was in Minnesota, to tell you the truth, but I had read a lot about this guy, Tommy Novus, and I got to play with him, and I got to be a teammate of his in a turbulent time under a coach you all remember, Stormy Normie Van Brocken. Tommy Novus was like the epitome of a football player. I was glad to be on the team with him. I had heard a lot about Dick Buckets, but I had never been hit by him. I got hit by Novus in practice, and he didn't play. Nice fellow on the field, but when he put that helmet on, look out. So I'm real glad to be here tonight. Glad to see that my good friend Tommy Novus is here. You know, I always tried to be the best that I could be in everything that I did. When I grew up in Louisiana, my daddy, God bless him, he was a sharecropper. A place called Lake Providence, Louisiana. And we learned how to work. Now, I had 3 fields in my life. The first field was a cotton field. And that's where I got my real training. The first time I picked 100 pounds of cotton, I knew then I could do anything. I don't know how many cotton pickers are in here, but I'm proud of them. Because I learned something. I learned a work ethic that I've had to this day. And I also have something else. We chop cotton. They paid us $4 a day. That's $4 I ever earned. Because you know why? I was able to help my dad. Because it was 9 of us. And he's sharecropper, he worked real hard, but he needed help. And I saw that early on. And the first time I picked 100 pounds of cotton, my big brother, 2 years older than me, told me, boy, you're the biggest fool in town. And I went back, what are you talking about? And I'm happy, I'm excited. And he said, you're crazy. He said, now you got to keep doing it. And I went like, yeah. Yeah, that's right. I can help more. Because once I pick 100, I can get more. Now that field was a great field. My second field of life was the football field. And I got out and I was able to play football because my daddy said I had two choices. I could go to college and get an education. I could work with him. He didn't want me to work with him. He wanted something better for me. And I felt when I was a little boy. So when I hit that football field, I associated football with college. And I associated college with helping my mother and my dad back home. So when I got that football, I ran like hell. The same days I had, I was jumping the field on the watermelon, and I was trying to hold on to that. They said, well, how you got so fast? You're going to get caught. Stand away from linebackers like Tom and Noble. That's how I'm coming. And then the third field of my life, the business field. And I learned something there too. I learned how we athletes can transcend what we do on the football field into the business field, and we can help them. We can help those people that can't help themselves. We can give them hope. We can give them something to reach on to in times are real bad. Now, I got a real good friend of mine in Pittsburgh. He was saying when they won those 4 championships, what kept that city going, they were losing a lot of jobs. Steel mills were closing, but they had a winner called the Pittsburgh Steelers. It made a big difference in the lives of everyday people. And as long as I live, I want to associate with everyday people because that's who we are. It doesn't matter how much money we make, because that doesn't define us. What defines us is what we do. And that's why, again, I saw myself pounding after Tom and Noble. He left that field, he went out and he started helping those kids that can't help themselves. The least one of us devoted his whole life to it. And he won't and have not given up that fight. So as long as I can continue to find somebody, no matter how tall I get, I'm going to be looking up to somebody. And he's one of them. And our God, who bless all of us, with the good and the bad, we serve a great God. And I wanted to come here tonight when Lena called me. She just called me like Tuesday. She said, would you go? I said, oh yeah, I remember them. I remember them Birdwatchers. I remember when they started. I was talking about, we used to meet back in Tom, I know you know this, a place called a Coach and Six in the back there. And if we won a game, or even if we did, we go back there. We go back there, and these Falcons, you guys were then called a Falcon Fort. Man, I'll never forget, I came to Atlanta. Some from a little town. So Atlanta was like, man, big time. And then I said, man, the Birdwatchers is so potent. You guys watch us when we're doing good, when we're doing bad, you're there. And I appreciate that. I appreciate this group. And I appreciate everything you do, not just for the Falcons as being great fans, but also for the kids out there. Give these people something to look up to, something to look forward to. And I want to tell you all that I really appreciate what you're doing. I just got elected about a year ago to the president of the alumni, the NFL alumni. And I made 2 commitments, one of which had to do with I would do everything I can for charity for these kids. So I'm out of caring for kids. And I don't mean just little black kids. I'm talking about all kids. I'm not meaning little white kids, brown kids. I don't mean the smart ones. I mean all of them. All right. We care for kids. I told them I'd do everything I could. We'd raise more money. But by the same token, I'm going to help the companies that help us do that because, and that's a selfish thing right now, because the more money they make, the more they can give to charity. And that's what we need to do. Second commitment I made was that I wanted to do something for the members. Now, there are a lot of guys that made this sport what it is. They didn't get a lot of money. They played with their heart. Sometimes I listen to a commercial and hear this guy talking about he's a football player. And help his kids with a car or something. You know, today, the football player made that commercial. They'll tell you who they are. I'm a #1 draft choice and I did this and I did that. He said, I'm a football player in Atlanta. That's why I love him. So, thank y'all for allowing me to come. And thank you for being those bird watchers. Keep watching us. Let me know you're up there.